Hey, lovely people. This is Marissa Monique, coming to share some thoughts today. There has been quite a buzz, quite a stir lately over two female rappers in particular that have dropped a song and a video which has created this buzz and stir. I took about 35, 40 seconds to actually listen to it, part of it, and was like, wow. Anyway, there were a few celebrities and a few other influential people that spoke up about it and said how empowering it was and how it's part of women's empowerment. Let me remind you that this is not women's empowerment. Not at all. This actually is perpetuating the part of society's nature towards women, which has almost caused the women's empowerment movement in the first place. What makes it so bad is that it's women actually objectifying women on a grand stage, actually. It's also pushing low value ideals and attitudes towards women as a whole, which we don't need any more of. We honestly don't need any more of. It starts to make me think about just this from a practical standpoint. So, say that a little girl is watching her mother watching this video and she realizes, oh, like mom likes this, she's dancing to it, she's repeating the words, this must be cool, let me kind of imitate my mother and imitate this video, because children are sponges. So all of a sudden, this 3-year-old, this 5-year-old, this 7-year-old, this 11-year-old is taking in these messages that are saying it's okay to dance like this, it's okay to dress like this, it's okay to talk like this, and it's okay to tout about my body parts like this. And then we're wondering why this little girl is being followed around by old men in the grocery store, or why this little girl, when she turns down a young man's just kind of forward, crass, sexual advances, that she's called a name. Or we don't understand why this little girl gets pregnant at 12. And we're just dumbfounded about that. This videos and videos like these is perpetuating a problem in our society towards women. And I think we have to be mindful. I once had a coworker that was fired from our job when our kind of deeper background checks got back, or there was like some gossip or something that happened. Anyway, the company ended up finding out that she was actually an exotic dancer a few years prior to receiving this job, and they fired her. They fired her for some menial reason that most of the rest of us would get just written up for, but they fired her, and we all knew, and she also was very sensitive about the fact that that was probably the reason, that her past was probably the reason why she was fired, because it didn't reflect the company's values and mission. So it's very important about what kind of messages we're taking in, what kind of decisions we're making, and what we're doing with those messages that we're taking in. I think that we need to remember as believers, as Christ followers, that listening to this type of music, consuming this type of media is not edifying to God. We have to be peculiar, and we have to set ourselves apart from what the rest of the world is doing and from what the rest of the world believes is cool or acceptable. John 17:14-15 says that we're in the world, but we're not of this world. And that's what Jesus said. I definitely believe that these type of videos and media like this place women and young ladies in a box. It basically sends a message to young ladies that this is how you have to behave to become a lady, which we know that's not true. It also pushes the agenda of immorality. It sends a message that girls and young ladies and women must compete with raunchy dancers, with nasty movie vixens, in order to be cool, to be popular, to be marketable, or to keep a man. Now, we say that we can do whatever or say whatever and just do it in a confident way and then create empowerment. Yes, But the problem with some of the things that we choose to do or say is that we must be accountable, responsible, and understand that there are results or consequences for saying or doing these things. So, women, you want respect, and you want equality, and you want freedom to express yourself the way that you see fit. Let's acknowledge the biology and recognize that God gave us an immense amount of influence and power through our bodies, through our sexuality, through our female prowess, and that's a huge, huge responsibility that we shouldn't take lightly. Have you ever seen an interview with a woman sharing a story about her past as a nasty movie lady? Anyway, it's pretty interesting because most of the time these ladies express an immense amount of guilt or shame or regret. And I think that there's something to note about that maybe we need to be careful with the choices that we make so that our children don't have to see these immature choices that we've made, or these choices that we made with no boundaries, with no convictions. A lot of the women speak of, never being able to get rid of themselves on the internet. There's always pictures, there's always movies, there's always, their past showing up somehow, whether they get hired for a new job, whether they're trying to create a business, whatever it is, it's like that thing is walking with them, around them. The message that you don't have to be ratchet, vulgar, raunchy, raw, tantalizing, seductive to feel empowered or be empowering. That you don't have to let anyone tell you that your classiness, modesty, elegance, real empowerment doesn't sell or make you desirable. Let me remind you that there are plenty of influential women and men that don't use their words or bodies as classless art. Have you ever had someone say, leave something to the imagination? That's something my grandmother used to say. She would be like, don't go out outside in your robe, girl. You don't want to tempt the devil. And I have literally, with all of those messages, I have literally developed a list of things that I know that I'm not going to really entertain until I actually have a husband. And that there are things that I'm happy to do as someone's girlfriend on my way to marriage too. But that I have a set of standards that I go by in my personal life and in my business life, that I'm not going to allow certain messages or people to have me deviate off the path that the Lord has designed for me. We need more classy, disciplined, convicted leaders, not followers. I invite you to stand for something so you don't fall for any old message. I encourage you to find new people to follow, to aspire and to be inspired, to be different. Be protective of your eyes and ears, the music, the movies, the general media message that we are exposing ourselves to. Philippians 4:8 says, finally, my brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, whatever is of good report, think on these things. That's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming to think on like positive things, the things that don't tear me down, the things that don't tear other people down, the things that are uplifting to me and that are pure and inviting and awesome to me. And there is limits to these things, to what we can't call everything empowering, folks. We cannot, because some of it's not. Some of it's going to literally spin a young girl and a young man like back and cause them never to develop or evolve into the person that they were supposed to be because of these messages. Romans 12:1-2 says, present your body as a living sacrifice. Don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I invite you to renew your mind. Renew your mind. Think of something different. Find something different. Find your village. I remember when I was living in Milwaukee and I met this group of girls. They had amazing hearts, of very, very sweet women. But I felt like every time we were out for a social gathering, it was twerking and alcohol. And I kind of hung in there for a few months and then realized these aren't my people. This isn't where I'm trying to go. And I actually said something to them. They're like, girl, ain't nothing wrong with that, blah, blah, blah. And there was just a lot of kickback. And so finally I had to just kind of back up. I'm like, well, if that's what y'all are about, that's not what I'm about. And I got to move on. And it really was unfortunate, you know, but some people are ready to go a particular way and other people aren't. Some people are ready to grow, some people aren't. And so then when we're ready to grow, but maybe some of the people around us aren't, it's time for us to move. Lastly, even if you're not a Christ follower, be truly disciplined, be truly mature, be conscious in what you consume. Understand that the environments that we place ourselves in, and the media that we consume, the programs and influences that they have on us, do the same things to our children, do the same things to our nieces and nephews, our godchildren, the people that we're around. That we have to understand that those have long-lasting influences. I hope this message served you well. Please do follow me at Thanksgiving is a Lifestyle on Instagram. And I'm also a life coach, so check out my mentor.net.life. Excuse me, my mentor.life, Marissa Monique. The info's in the description box. Take care.